Greetings, salutations, and all that sort of rot. Hope this day finds you in the good graces of the Most High God, huh? From Christ on down to the present man, definiteness of purpose is the starting point of all achievement. Without purpose and a plan, people drift aimlessly through life, and Satan goes out of his way to keep man from thinking. Accurate thought is death of Satan in your mind. He cannot exist in the mind of those who think accurately. As long as you think in terms of fear, hurt, loss, Satan has a lock on your mind, your consciousness, huh? Discouragement, hopelessness, destructiveness. When you start to think in constructive terms of faith, courage, hope, and definiteness of purpose, you immediately become allies with the Most High God, and Satan loses his grip on you, huh? Yeah. Is the habit of definite purpose permanent protection against the control of Satan? No, not by any means. The Bible is the living word of God, because it is a message given to man from the living God. Jesus spoke of life and the life-giving power of his word. The words that I have spoken to you, they are full of spirit and life. You see, in many ways, life is a battle against our self-destructive tendencies, our weaknesses, and fears. A battle against our mortal nature in time, and the limits of time in the battle against our bad habits and people who try to pull us down. But instead of letting the realization of life bring you down, we should also have the presence of mind that it is up to us to decide to have the full participation in this battle of life. It is what produces meaning and fulfillment and keeps you from being a hater. For as it is written, as air is to the bird and the sea is to the fish, so is hate to the hater, huh? Yeah. For as the philosopher Carl Jung once wrote, life is hard. There is nothing that can be done about it. But we can choose how we face the battle of life. And depending on our approach, a hard life can become a good life, huh? Yeah. Today we look at how to achieve what seems to be the ultimate of feats. You see, to prepare for battle, knowledge is essential. And in the battle of life, the one thing that you can always be sure of is change. The condition of the physical world we live in, which can be called being in the world, and also the inner world of the psyche, which can be called being not of it, and the need for flux and balance between the two. Now a man can run from his problems, deny they exist, try to avoid, but the more we avoid, the less we live, huh? For as the philosopher Carl Jung once wrote, unlived life is a destructive and irresistible force that works softly and inexorably. You may be familiar with the term, killing me softly, huh? To become one of the few that lives rather than exists, one must be willing to face up to the battle in life. And how do we begin to live in this way? How better yet do we escape the laziness and fear that keeps us and so many in rigid ways, huh? One approach is to redefine your state of mind, huh? One must find a way to redefine your sense of self. So we replace the constructed self with the discovered self. Now, to understand what type of self defines us, we should ask ourselves the following question, huh? Is our self-concept based on our job title, income level, physical attribute, age, educational level, the present home that we live in, the car that we drive, or having important friends, huh? If the answer for us quite possibly is yes, then you have a constructed sense of self. Our self-concept, in other words, is of the obtainment of worldly goods, huh? And values. And this very constructed self way of living is very common in the modern day and in this world, but it is far from what God meant for man. When our self-concept is to the external or worldly, then the order of oneself mirrors the order of the outer world, huh? When the order of that world is stable, then oneself is stable in order. But if that world becomes unstable, then the stability of oneself breaks down, maybe from economic or social or personal crisis. Then those with a constructed sense of self also tend to break down, huh? They try to avoid these things, but to avoid the weakness and vulnerability of the constructed self, we need to replace it with a discovered self, huh? Now that's straight preaching, huh? Yeah. You see, a discovered self is a cultivated self through the development of virtues, skills, character traits, and other personal capabilities rather than being constructed on external achievements. This sense of self is discovered as you actualize your latent potential and develop your own unique capabilities in interaction with the Most High God, huh? Yeah. Time for you to get yourself together, huh? And know that the war for the soul is fought on the battlefield of the mind, huh? So you got to keep it real in the battlefield. And know that it was never my intention to discourage you, rather encourage you to change your life today, right now. I hope this information has helped you in some sort of way. Until the very next time, peace and blessings. I love you. I love you all. I got to